The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. About 30 minutes outside of downtown Chicago lies the mile-and-a-half Chicagoland Speedway. A driver favorite, a fan favorite thrown on the back burner post-COVID, had sit dormant and only has held one event, being some Supercross dirt bikes. We await the real-world return of the Chicagoland Speedway, but luckily we have the virtual companion here, and the Area iRacing Truck Series is going to have their turn here tonight. Welcome everybody to PTR TV for today's coverage of the Area Truck Series. We are on round number 8, taking 120 circuits around this Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet. Gonna be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the production truck, and of course I got Mr. Brad Dalton to help me out here with the calls. Brad, Darlington was a doozy last week. Some crazy racing, a lot of strategy. Now we head to a bumpy, abrasive, multi-groove track, and I surely am looking forward to it.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. If Darlington was a doozy, then I think Chicagoland is going to be chaos. Whether you put the cheese under the sauce, above the sauce, or you just know it as the Windy City, I don't really care. I know this track for good racing. Of course, this is a track that I have a feeling these trucks are going to be able to put on a show with. Good hard racing comes from Chicagoland is what I've learned, and I am pretty excited to see how things go. You said it yourself, last week was fun. I'm looking to see Brian Mercurio. Can he hold on and get a third win on the season, or will it be Peyton Howe going for a third win this season? Or, hey, Garrett Conrath doesn't have a single win, but he's second in points right now, so maybe he can find his first win of the regular season.
Yeah, exactly that. A lot of multi-time winners and some drivers still looking. You know, they've been knocking on the door all season long and trying to get those wins. You look on our sheets, you know, we have the Timmy Pacciolis of the world, the Seth Noels, Jordan Kuntz, Garrett Conrath, as you said, just looking to knock that door down into victory circle. But we do have our points that we can go over here. And after round number 7 at Darlington, you can see Mercurio has pulled out to a 33-point lead over Mr. Conrath, and then Peyton Howell there 44 back, and you can see from 4th place all the way down to 8th, that is essentially a matter of 6 or 7 positions that can change quite easily in the top 5.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very close run here. Of course, Jordan Kuntz, Seth Noel tied up. And as we are on the back half of this regular season, I mean, once we get past Talladega, which, yeah, Talladega is the last race of the regular season, then we hit Bristol, which is our playoff race. But I'm looking all the way out to June. Of course, we're still early in May, so plenty of time to be found. Chicagoland, Dover, Kansas, Coda, and Talladega. Really not that long left in the regular season. So I think this is going to be a good run to go through. Qualifying underway here. And of course, as is area tradition, it's one and done. And Corey, I feel like Casey, we need to give him a little bit of a shout out here. He's been giving us some love. I want to see how Casey runs his lap, and then maybe we can have a little conversation with him.
Yeah, we will we'll have a little word here. We've been saying his name wrong all season, so we said we're just going to get it right out of the horse's mouth, maybe have a word, because remember, he had a really good run at Darlington, taken away from him in the late race chaos. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in here to PTR TV, both on YouTube and on Facebook. And of course, if you're watching on the Twitch side of things, consider subscribing to the Area iRacing Twitch. You can catch all the racing there, and if you subscribe for $5 a month, you'll get some custom emotes and double points. That'll help you in your endeavors to some free merch here. But here's Ryan Nowicki here, and Casey is going to stall. He's going to make us wait, as a lot of drivers are making us wait. But here comes Danny Ware in that number 35. We'll await the first times to populate here on the board in a second so we can get our perspective of what we're going to be battling with here tonight.
Yeah, end of lines for the night. Conrath, Chilcutt, Fisher, and Brown. So 4 end of lines will be served in this race. Shouldn't be the worst thing in the world to see. 4 end of lines, not big, but this is a track that I think track position will really kind of play through. And I mean, for Chilcutt, considering he's end of line, he's already up there P3, P4 now as times continue to come in. It should be interesting to see what he can put together.
Now there is Sebastian Marin top of the board. That should be a surprise to nobody, as we'll see some different lines at play here. You can see Rocky Boyd ripping the fence there, and got to be careful to evade it. Here comes AJ Stravano just starting their time. A lot of guys using the last seconds here of qualifying, trying to get as much just trying to, I don't even know what the strategy is, because technically later in the day, that's typically when the track gets hotter, but everybody using that earlier time. Let's see if there's anybody here. Peyton Howell, again, he is our second place in points. Let's see what he can do compared to Sebastian's 31:04.
Well, 31:04 is a strong time to see, but as is tradition here with Area, I mean, it's all very, very close together, and the times are not that far apart. So let's see here, coming across the line, 31:095. I mean, that's such a good time, but it still puts Peyton Howell in 4th. Again, that's just how close things are found here, time after time after time. Beckner comes through, 31:1. Brian Mercurio, current points leader, dominating run. Can he find a better time?
P1.
Dang, that's fast.
Anybody who knows the Chicago White Sox, whenever they hit a home run, put it on the board. Yes, that is top of the board for Brian Mercurio. Nobody likes the White Sox. I mean, if you watch baseball, I mean, it's kind of obvious as to why, but either way, that's off topic. Jake Nichols, it would have been the pole if not for Brian Mercurio, but he will be in P2 here. Who else do we got? We got Matthew Batby. He had a 3rd place run if memory serves, and that should put him somewhere in and amongst the top 10. And our pal Casey, where did he wind up here on the evening? I don't even see it, but he's 27th here. And I guess now that qualifying is basically over, we can go and have a word. Mr. Casey, I need you to do your Destiny's Child and say your name for us.
Lakatos.
Lakatos. All right, we got this. We got this, Lakatos. See, I'm not funny. So we'll always have a quick word with you, anyways, because we thought we were going to talk to you last week, Casey, with that run at Darlington. It got taken away from you at the very end. But what does that come? What do you come out of that knowing that you had some massive speed? What can you translate into this week at Chicago?
Well, for at least our 50 team, as long as we've been around, it's always a hope and a prayer that we can be up at the front. It was awesome to be up there driving down the back door of Jake Nichols. Certainly those guys always have speed. We are hit and miss. So when we can, it's awesome. But we know we're a mid-pack car with as much talent that's here this season and every season prior. We know where we're at. We know where we're going to be. So anytime we can outshine our normal is awesome. So as far as Chicagoland, it's basically a home track for us. A little slick out there, but I think we'll have some good speed.
All right.
Staying clean. As
they always say, if you know you're a 25th place truck, try to go P20. Small little bites at it, and you'll get where you want to be, man. Casey Lakatos there, and we'll let you go, man. Good luck out there.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so that is Casey. Now we have ourselves 5 minutes of warm-up here as we stare at a very low-resolution trailer there. Again, Chicagoland from an iRacing perspective. I mean, I'm not Coke. I can kind of poke and dab here a little bit. It is one of the older tracks on the service, so aesthetically this place is not my favorite as a broadcaster, but as a driver, certainly is my favorite. And if you watch the channel, you would have saw that we covered this place on Sunday night in some next-gen action, and we saw a banger of a show there, Brad. These guys were all over this place, 2-3 wide, using every which lane. These trucks are a little bit of a different animal with how they run with the lower power, but I think the fundamentals should be the same.
I was going to say, I know that trucks are not next gen cup cars, right? But still, I think the fundamentals of racing are going to be there. It's going to be good. And I think for all of the trucks that bring this thing through, they're going to have a great time. One D&Q, Nowicki in the number 74, or is it Novicki? N-O-W, so Novicki. Either way, one D&Q here on the night in the trucks, as is kind of a custom here in area. We always have a lot of trucks show up, and several will always try to drive into the show. Unfortunately, one truck not making their way through, and we'll see how that goes. This is going to be a good race. Regardless of what happens, this is going to be a good race here around Chicagoland. I really, really enjoyed this track on Sunday, and when I remembered that it was Tuesday and Thursday this week at Chicago as well, I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, certainly the case. Always look forward to these truck races, and we do have some DNQs to discuss. Not DNQs, end of lines. It'll be Conrath, which second place in points. That's going to hurt. Alex Chilcutt. We have Jake Fisher and then Jeremy Brown. They will all be headed to the arrears section of this track, which if you're going to go to the back at any track, I would take a track that you can pass on. Not that you'll ever intentionally go to the back, but there's certain places that you can kind of recover from it, and I would certainly consider Chicago to be one of those tracks. Let's take a look at the weather conditions here today from virtual Joliet. Or Joliet, I don't know, I'm not a Chicagoan. 81 in the air, nice toasty track, making like a Quiznos sub. Toasty track, 118 degrees, and we are racing right in the heat of the afternoon, 1:30 virtual time, dated off of today's date on May 6th. And we're booting right to the grid.
I was going to say, I don't know if you saw those three trucks spin right there in camera shot while you're talking about the weather. It's hot. I don't know if that's a precursor. This is going to be fun.
We'll see indeed the case here. And if you don't know what Quiznos is, you missed out, because that was a damn good sandwich. But let's head down trackside for your starting lineup. Of course, your starting lineup brought to you by Central Mobile Homes. If you're looking for a small or large home, a new shed, triple crowd trailer, look no further than Central Mobile Homes. They've been proudly serving Florida customers for 29 years with a plethora of small and large home floor plan, shed designs, and triple crown trailers. Available in LaBelle, Okeechobee, Clewiston, and Sebring. Head to centralmobilehomeinc.com. I tried to talk so fast, and I almost made it. But let's head down trackside for that grid there, Brad.
And starting out on pole is, of course, going to be the overall points leader, trying to chase things down. Brian Mercurio with Jake Nichols there in second place, trying to chase him down. The Puerto Rican in third place, Sebastian Marin, last week's race winner. And then Jordan Kuntz in fourth place. There, P5, Kenny Brady with AJ Strevato in P number 6. Tanner Love, P7, Ryan Andrew, the number 8 truck, found 8th place. And then in 9th place, coming through was Peyton Howell with Seth Noel rounding out P10.
Remember, Peyton will be an EOL. The 11th place will find the likes of Jonathan Evans and Matthew Batby. That's a competitive row there. Trey Edson and then Timmy Pacioli. He's still looking for his first win, as is Rocky Boyd. Ricky Springer in 16th spot. Travis Beckner, our flagger at Hendry County, in 17th with David Weishart. Looks like that's a new truck for him, rolling off 18th. And rounding out our top 20, Josh Parrish and Lane Doyle. I don't think that's a name I've seen recently in the series.
I don't believe so either, but 21st will be Jake Fisher with Philip Groner getting in 22nd. From there we go 23rd. That's going to be Tanner Bethea with Justin Anasogak in that number 88 truck in 24th. Danny Ware 25th. Alex Chilcutt in 26th, but again is also one of our end of lines. And then in 27th is going to be Caden Diedrich with Brad Slaughter Jr. in 28th. From there it's Casey Lakatis and then Garrett Grant in P number 30. Did I say Casey's name right?
You did, to my knowledge anyways. We'll let the rest of them scroll through, because again, with the DNQs and the EOLs, these tend not to be accurate. Just gives you kind of a little idea of what the lap times were. There's the chicken in 38th. How can you miss that picture? Jeremy Miller, he's right there in 39th, Doug DeNice, and there is the back end of the field. 44 drivers did register here tonight from Chicago. Our race details here on the evening, no different than usual. 120 laps, no stages here today, which is just the name of the game here in area. 4 sets of Goodyears, full fuel load fixed sets, and 3 green-white checkers. Now, this race could go one of two ways, Brad. The multi-groove could allow this place to spread out, and it could allow this place to be a nice green flag race, or the pack racing in the close quarters style could cause a little bit of chaos, similar to what we saw at Texas in the real world.
It could go either way, and that's the fun with area is I wouldn't be surprised that it goes either way. I wouldn't be surprised if we see things spread out and, the racing get very, spread out and run through, and green flag stops be the name of the game and conserving your tires. I wouldn't be surprised if pack racing comes together and we see guys beating and banging and knocking these trucks out all the way through. But there's only one way to find out, and that's, of course, going to be when things go through. I thought we were coming to the green flag, but no, we get a bonus pace lap around here because Chicagoland Speedway is glorious. And I love seeing in the YouTube chat everyone saying that they miss this track, except for one person saying Chicago Street is greater than Chicagoland. Corey, I don't know how I feel about that.
Must be a road racer, but remember, they do give us a bonus. The admin gives us a bonus lap because of the EOLs and stuff, so Chicago doesn't do that naturally for us. Again, Nowicki, the only driver to DNQ here on the evening. And our fuel load here, our kind of estimation on how far they'd be able to run, I would say right around 60-65 laps probably would be the Sunoco race fuel distance here today, but I think the tires will probably force them in around that 40 to 50. There's going to be a big discrepancy, a lot of fall off, and that certainly will cause some strategy calls that we saw a lot of Darlington last week. We'll see them here today as well. You can see the groove already rubbered in there. That means this is going to be a racy track, and we are looking forward to bringing you all the action. The Area Truck Series, round number 8. Let's do 120 laps at Joliet. Pace car is going to pull in. Barney's going to get the flag in hand and get it waving. And Brian Mercurio is getting ready on that loud pedal. Let's go racing from Chicagoland.
And as we get green here, everybody looks like they're getting away pretty well. A little bit of jockeying for position in mid-pack, but they're going to keep it 2x2 through turn 1 here, through turn 1 and 2, going through and around back half of the field, kind of a little more wiggly than the front half, I'd say, but Brian Mercurio with a great run there to hold on to his pole position slot. Jake Nichols, Sebastian Marin, that's really your battle for second and battling through, and I already see 3 wide in the mid-pack, so let's watch out there because that's the Toyota truck getting in the mix as well. The number 51 of Ricky Springer trying to get us to chant Ricky through the race.
Yeah, you can see there on the bottom, which a lot of different strategies here. I've been told and I experienced running on the bottom here at 1 and 2 is pretty loose, and that's something that these guys will have to fight with. But then 3 and 4 is the much bumpier end of the speedway, especially right down there on the bottom. And also, if you try to rim ride the fence, it's very bumpy down there. Running the middle is probably the easiest place to run, where you saw Seth Noel in that number 1 truck. And now here, everyone's cutting the bottom, which I didn't see it a lot in the next gen, but these trucks are slower and not as on the ground, so they can kind of handle that. You will see drivers running all the way down on the flat through that tri-oval portion.
Yeah, and running on the flat, it's a thing you can do. I'm not saying it's my favorite thing to see trucks do, but it's a thing you can do. And of course, if you give a racing driver an inch, they're going to take about 7 miles and then complain that they didn't get 8 miles out of it. So going through here up front, we've got a battle coming up here between Jordan Kuntz and Kenny Brady, I believe that is there, going through and battling it out. That is 4th and 5th going side by side. Let's go ahead and mix in Ryan Andrew into the mix as well as we go around, keep things going, and I think seeing the best laps here within the next 2 laps is going to be done and dusted. That tire fall off is real quick here around Chicagoland.
Yeah, especially when you're racing as aggressively as they are. Those Goodyears will only take so much, in this 20-year-old pavement track built back in 2001. Kansas and Chicago both featured their inaugural race there in 2001. Some contact there between Springer in that 51 and the 52 of Howell. I mean, Springer might be calling for a different, not saying Ricky, he might be calling for a Jerry call. The way that he has been making some contact there. And here comes Rocky Boyd, drove it on in there, and that move had to be aborted, but certainly getting feisty at the back end of the top 10.
Yeah, they are. That 51, I mean, look at that. Just keeping the nose on the back of the 52, just kind of saying, you know what? I want this run. He's going to try to get the run coming through, and now he's going to drop back down, hold on to the back. Will there be a little bit of a bump and run attempt? Well, I wouldn't recommend it, but, I mean, again, it's never stopped a truck driver from doing it. So getting real close there on the rear deck lid we go and bring it through. Down the inside, 51 will get the pass.
Caution,
67 is in the wall, and that is caution number 1.
Jalen Handcamp on the back straightaway. You can see the left rear of that automobile is not in a ideal state. Let's use our Hendry County Motorsports Park replay and sort things out. Saw Alex Chilcutt to the inside, and hard to tell. We'll get one more perspective of that, whether it was who was high, who was low. I'm going to say, in my non-important opinion, that Handcamp ran a little bit tighter of a line than most drivers would do off a 2, and that put Chilcutt in a harder spot. I don't know what admin will call. You know, they have the incident point system here in the league, not so much the iRacing incident point system, but an in-league system that they, you get X amount of points over X amount of races, and your penalties will escalate. So we'll see what the call is there, but the call will not be to pit. Someone's trying to do the Allen Iverson hot sauce crossover.
Oh, a lot of trucks doing the fake out. A couple people getting caught up there. Look at that. That was impressive.
There was one event I saw where someone actually spun because they actually got their ankles broken there. So kind of embarrassing to have that be the case. But again, very early with only 4 sets of tires, you don't want to waste one at this juncture. Because again, that would leave you 3 sets, and here on the iRacing service, once you take a set off, you may as well throw it in the fire, because you can't get it back, you can't put it back on. Doesn't matter if you used it for 1 lap, that tire is gone. So you don't want to waste it this early. But up front, 2 drivers up front who you don't have much surprise to, Mercurio and Sebastian Marin. Marin not full-time here in the trucks, but when he does run in the trucks, which has been twice this season, he got 1 win, so he's batting .500 here in the trucks.
Yeah, I mean, Sebastian Marin is a driver that we know is quick, so it's no surprise when Sebastian Marin decides to show up and show off. He's going to show up and show off and do it very well. So I would really keep my eyes on Marin, that number 23 up high. But, of course, Brian is Mr. Consistency of the season, so keep your eye on Brian. Keep your eye on Jake Nichols. Jake Nichols is fast as well. They're all really fast up here on the front half of this truck field. So anyone I would say is a good bet early on, but of course, in order to finish first you have to finish, and we're only crossing lap number 901.20, 1 to green, so it'll be 10 laps down, 110 to go when we take this restart.
Exactly that here. So again, this will be 1 heat cycle on the tires, which means that the Goodyears, they got hot, they cool down, and when they cool down, when they get hot again, they have a different grip level. So we'll see if anybody has issues with that. And it doesn't seem like they gave any incident points on that caution. Just acknowledged the 2 drivers in it, but no immediate blame was offered. They're kind of calling it a racing deal via our admins here today. But heading down the Brant stretch here, that curved back stretch, the only one of its kind of these 1.5-mile cookie cutters. It's not actually ever going straight here. There's that little bit of a curve, and that gives you a little bit more of a wider entry into turn 3, which can help you carry a little bit more speed, run those different lines. But let's get ready for a restart, Brad.
Coming through, I'm going to be keeping my eyes on these front two personally for this whole run, but I do think the 51 and the 52, the teammates back there, they were racing real hard, Springer and Howe. I think they're going to race real hard off the restart, but of course, keep the eyes up front. Mercurio, Marin, Nichols, and Kuntz, they're going to be the battle as we go through. Mercurio with a good jump there. Marin, Nichols, Kuntz, Andrew are all going to be battling it out. We already see things spreading. Somebody's dropping well low. That's the 52 of Peyton Howell trying to take it low, take it 3 wide early on, and he goes through. He's going to hold it 3 wide on that bottom line, and now let's go down this twisty backstretch.
Yeah, you can see that EOL driver, Peyton Howell, just trying to get through the field. Actually, it wasn't Peyton Howell, excuse me, and I keep saying he was. He wasn't. He's just trying to get through the field as fast as possible, but making those aggressive moves, and aggressive moves being made up front. Here goes Jake Nichols looking to the inside of Marin through the tri-oval here, entering turn number 1. And Ryan Andrews tried to fill the gap. You saw Nichols run a higher line, cut to the bottom to get the run down the back. Nearly got himself in a sandwich with the 8. Now the 8 battling with Jordan Kuntz, who's trying to rip the outside and make that momentum work.
Yeah, Jordan Kuntz down the back straightaway here. Roundy turn lefty he goes. Trying to hold the high line around Ryan Andrew. Doing a good job of doing that. Keep it side by side. And look at this. We might have a battle for the lead as Mercurio and Marin try to battle it out. Marin's going to get to the low line here. 23 is going to bring it low. Mercurio's going to hold their middle. We have 3 wide for the lead. Nichols up high. And Mercurio will hold the lead off of 2 down the backstretch. 73 right to the bumper. The 23. And now these trucks will come down towards 3 and 4. They'll hold it out like that, at least for the moment.
Yeah, you saw the 3 different lanes being utilized through 1 and 2. Seems everyone's training it right on the bottom through 3 and 4, however. So using each end of the speedway a little bit different here, but holding on to the charge for the time being is Mercurio there. And wondering if he's trying to do any amount of tire conservation mode here, knowing that it could be a long run. You never quite know. Saw somebody in the back there ripping the fence. It was a black truck, and you can see in 3 and 4, a lot of them are using that outer lane. There's Ricky Springer. There's the 86 of Timmy Pacioli going all the way up there. And I talked to you last week, Brad, and earlier this week. Running the wall in 3 and 4, ultra bumpy, and there we go.
Oh, that's teammates coming together.
That's a big one. That is a wad up right there through turns 1 and 2. Philip Groner getting in there. 47 truck of Lane Doyle. We saw the 52.
Pacioli's in it. The 60's in it. I mean, I think we might be easier off saying who wasn't in that one, because that was a hard one.
So on our Hendry County Motorsports Park replay and try to figure something out here. Yeah, I got to find that 52 truck, but go on board here. This is with Lane Doyle, but I will try to find a perspective from that number 52 truck. Just have to bear with me, folks, as I sift through the carnage here. Peyton didn't actually get too bad of a perspective on that. He's in 14th still, so he didn't lose too much.
If you're a Powerhouse Racing fan, I recommend looking away here, because very clearly the teammates, I don't know if I'd call that getting away with it, but maybe that is getting away with it. And then really it was everything behind him that set off. So Powerhouse Racing, very clearly they're not going to be happy with that one, because I think all 4 of their trucks were involved in that to some extent. Everybody into the pits here, lap 15.
Lap 15. This is early for a pit stop. I mean, well, we'll see. Is it going to be 4 tires? Is it just going to be some, maybe some top off? We'll have to look here on the cam and see if the jacks do go up, because again, lap 15 is uncomfortably early, but it's enough laps that you probably want to take the tires. So let's see, tires going up. I would expect 4. 2 tires, not usually a call you want to make, because then you're just stuck with a set of left sides. So yeah, 4 tires on lap 16. That'll leave 3 sets left for the next couple laps. And is that a lead change on pit road? I do believe it is.
That it is.
Marin got out first, but that is not important, because we had a plethora of drivers remain on the racetrack.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have pit yet personally, but it is going to have a tire difference, and I don't know. I think that's a that's a very, very hard decision to make, to be honest with you. And I'll tell you right now, YouTube chat has a very strong opinion of what that second caution was going through. So if you are watching, again, whether it's Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. We appreciate that. Again, whatever medium you're on, make sure you like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. Again, our replays here today brought to you by Hendry County Motorsports Park, and racing is back on Saturday, May 10th for the Crusoe 8 models, factory stocks, and more. Tickets are $20 for adults. Kids age 5 and under get in for free, and you can get a family pack of 4 tickets for $25. The southernmost dirt track in America, Clewiston, Florida, off U.S. Highway 27. You can go to hendrycounty.com for more info. Again, they are our replay sponsor, and our replays just brought you that perspective of that wreck, and admin, to no surprise, deeming the 51 being the cause, and he will get some incident points tallied to his record.
Yeah, again, I think that if you are a Powerhouse Racing fan, that was not your ideal way to have a night go, because now you've got 2 trucks that are going to be well out of the mix. And again, I think the other 2 got involved with that as well, the number 50 of Casey and the number 9 of Jonathan Evans. I have a feeling Powerhouse Racing will be having a little powwow after the race in the hauler. They'll have a conversation, and I think that'll be the end of that. Up front, if you didn't pit here, I'm nervous. I don't know how that's going to go. I would watch that number 23 and that number 82 in the background, but the top guys, I'm sure they know what they're doing as we come across the line to go green.
And on the accelerator is the 73, but the top 8 trucks on older tires, and we'll see how those 17-lap old tires will fare. And all the way in the back, that bright pink truck, that magenta truck, Sebastian Marin's going to go third lane and say, excuse me, I need to go fast on my 4 fresh Goodyears, but the speed's still building. Those old tires can hang on, at least on the outlap. But here, now that they're at full song, we'll see what the difference is in turn 3.
And as they come down towards turn 3, the 73 getting the run, the 99 coming through as well, the 8 looking down low, Ryan Andrew, Rocky Boyd going through. And I'll tell you what, Rocky Boyd put in the chat here as we watch just this gaggle come through, 3 wide, 4 wide. I mean, I want to look away, but I can't look away because this is literally what I'm here to do at 15, making the sandwich. Guys, I know this is called a speedway around, but like, come on now. We don't have to race this like a super speedway. It's 23 diving hard low with the 60 there up high. Watch them come around, and well, Sebastian Marin very clearly has taken the parachute off.
Sogak loose on the top. They're all going to funnel down. He's in the fence as it narrows up off the corner, but manages to persevere through. Jake Nichols getting a little bit of a gap, up 0.2 of a second. Rocky Boyd and Jordan Kuntz battle it, and just look at the Larson line working for the 23. Contact with Chilcutt and Andrew there. Chilcutt's been in a lot of precarious positions here tonight, and that's David Weishart down on the flat, and Mercurio right in the middle of the sandwich.
That's like 10 cars in one camera shot right there. 4 wide coming through yet again as we come through. Mercurio with a wiggle, and
71.
Everyone holds together. 71's around in the background.
Yeah, 71 goes around. That's Tanner Love. He is going to do some agricultural work there, but he will not. Yeah, because he was on the flat, so Barney don't care about it. We'll go quickly and get a Hendry County Motorsports Park replay. And that's some contact with Josh Parrish. And again, through the grass he goes where he stops. We saw that. But up front, 24, Caden Diedrich, he is pancaking the right side of the fence there. Now Sebastian Marin, first on the tires. He is going to drive himself up from about 12th or 13th to 2nd in about 6 laps here on this run.
It won't be long now until he's up to the lead, and that's the difference in new tires. I mean, 15 laps doesn't seem like a lot on tires, but 2 heat cycles, that's a pretty significant difference, and honestly, that's probably what drove them to make that pit call. Jake Nichols trying to hold high, just not enough there in the tires, a little wiggle as he's trying to drive, he's trying to push, and not able to go through, more pancake into the wall, and Brian Mercurio back there in the background, taking it 3 wide. Mercurio, of course, pit with Marin, lost the lead, and now has just stalled out in 10th place. That truck does not like traffic at all.
I would say he's probably just erring on the conservative side. He saw what Marin was doing, slicing and dicing, going to the top, ripping the fence, putting it in the middle, wherever it was. And Mercurio, he got put in a really bad spot as we saw, nearly 4 wide. He had to back out of it, cost him momentum. And here in these trucks at this style of racetrack, once you lose your momentum, just put the bread in the toaster. Oh, that joke didn't work, so I was trying to say your toast, but you know what I'm trying to say there. You're toast once you lose that momentum, and now he's trying to get it back currently in the 6th spot, digging underneath Seth Noel there, as there's still 3 abreast. Who's that bright orange truck there? That is Jeremy Miller in that number 30. He is trying to go up top to Rocky Boyd.
Yeah, and Miller's going to try to take it up the high line here, 3 wide if he can find it and mind it as they close up. And man, I tell you what, that exit of 4, they do not have a good time there. Jeremy Miller, of course, the season 6 champion, as he is in that 609 Motorsports truck trying to find a season 7 run if he can find it. Keeping the high line here, trying to keep consistent. We're already over halfway through regular season, so at this point, you know, you've got to drive the truck, you got to push hard, you got to do what you can. Not a lot of opportunity left to be found as they come through around through 3 and 4, and that is a truck all the way down on the low side. I believe it's the number 47, but he'll be no factor to everyone going through. A little bit of a run on the flat as they come around in that 47 straight into the pits as we keep this battle going up front.
Exactly that here. And up front you have Sebastian Marin and Jonathan Evans, and in terms of the strategy, they are on the same call here. We'll just switch back over to your stint and let you know, top 10, they all pitted, and Jake Nichols is the first, or rather top 8. 9th is Jake Nichols, and he is still dropping back, but he's going to try to salvage whatever he can. But this is always a fear, Brad. I'll cut that thought off because they are going absolutely bonkers here for about 15th spot here. There's Chilcutt, there's Mason Kane, there's Jordan Kuntz. Who's that in the middle? There's the 60 of Chilcutt, Garrett Conrath all the way to the bottom.
I really want to avert my eyes, but I can't. You know what this track is reminding me of right now, the way these trucks are driving? It's reminding me of Phoenix, because they are absolutely pushing it hard. They're 3 wide, they're 4 wide, they're spreading out, and then they're compressing real hard in the corners. For some reason, I'm getting real Phoenix vibes from this race, and I can't really explain it, as we're going to keep 3 wide yet again. Let's go 4 wide one more time, why don't we? 80, 60, 99, 62. They were going to go 4 wide. They shut it 3 wide. You got to watch the roll up off of 2 and the roll up off of 4. Otherwise, you're going to end up smashing into another truck. Keep it 3 wide, keep it 3 wide, and somehow these guys are losing no pace. They are running pace consistent with the leaders, even though they're on older tires and they're fighting 3 wide, 4 wide. I mean, I want to tell you to avert your eyes, but this is really what you're here for.
Yeah, this is the great stuff here, because sometimes the best racing is in the middle of the pack, because these positions do matter. These guys trying to get that top 10, because if you're running 10, 12, what do you want? You want a top 10. You want to be able to tally something on your season stat sheet there. So, you know, give yourself that momentum there. The 65 truck, Ben Pierce, he is looking to the bottom of Chilcutt there. And who's that? Bryce Senesac against some guys we don't usually focus on a weekly basis, but you're not missing anything crazy up front. I will say that Brian Mercario, remember, he was up front, lost it on that cycle, didn't make it through the field as fast as everybody else, but he will get 4th and pass Seth Noel. All the while, he is only, as we pull up on our graphic here, he is only 1 second off. So even though it took him much longer to get through the field, he really didn't lose too much time, you know, as the net loss.
Yeah, Brian's got a lot of patience. He's very good on the long run. So it's one of those that, you know, in the moment, you don't see him kind of carving through and fighting and making the battles, but in the long run, I know it's going to pay off for him to sort of sit and watch that coast-to-coast truck keep things moving and grooving for that number 82. More battles going on here. 29, David Weishart here, the Season 1 Cup champion, keeping a good battle going as everybody comes through. Still, this entire mix in the middle from this position back cannot sort themselves out, going 3 wide, 4 wide, 2 wide, single file, kind of just wherever they can find themselves as they continue through.
Yeah, they're finally starting to, well, I'll take that back. I was going to say they're kind of normalizing out a little bit here. But again, this is mid-20s, and they're 3x3. Daytona was race number 1, and they're trying to emulate that. They say that there's one track on the schedule that might get the Atlanta treatment. Well, Chicago is racing like it already has the Atlanta treatment, even though we only have 18 degrees of banking here at this 1.5-mile racetrack here. So they'll still go 3 abreast. That's Josh Balliet to the top of the track, and That's Ben Pierce trying to shorten up the right front fender there, kissing the safer barrier there off turn number 4, and then doing the same thing through the tri-oval.
That 55, that PVTR truck going through, giving a little bit of bumper to the 60, and they are just continuing to follow through. Keep it 3 wide, look for a run where you can try to get it. We jump back up front here, a little bit further ahead, not too far ahead, but just a little bit further ahead as the 84 is continuing to fight. That's Jake Fisher, a little bit of a wiggle there, and that 29 of David Weishart has to hold. The high line goes through, and did I just see 5 wide in the background, Corey?
Yeah,
I know I didn't, but I think I did.
This is just what you have to see. You can see the 3x3, and again, you'd almost think this is an all-star race and there's an invert for 25th spot, and they're all trying to get it so that they can start first on the next segment. None of that's the case here. This is just the battle for $1 million for about the 25th position here, and they're going all over the place. You can see the 62 car there, who is struggling. That's Tyler Hallman to keep it in that middle. Those, what is that, 04? I don't know Roman numerals very well. Those 04 trucks, Senesac and Hallman there trying to find their way here. But let's go back up front and let you know what's going on. And because, again, we always say it, Brad, once the leader starts doing leader things, we always forget about them. And even though Sebastian Marin dominates, sometimes we don't talk about him enough, but he's doing Sebastian Marin things.
I mean, he won last week, started P2 and led 113 laps. And I mean, Sebastian Marin is on a pretty good run to emulate that again this week and just absolutely send it through, send it around. Look at this, Jonathan Evans and Kenny Brady, that number 78 truck, trying to go to the high line here, go side by side in this Chevy truck. Can he get the pass done on the Toyota? Well, he's trying it. High line through 3 and 4. Usually a good line, and let's see if he can hold it here. He's going to pinch to the bottom, bring it around, and Meals on Wheels. He's certainly going to be hungry for P2 and just clears him at the line.
I say Meals on Wheels, maybe provided by Alice there as the 7th child there in the Brady family perhaps, but he will try to get that outside lane working, and he should be able to clear with the momentum off turn number 2 using that outside lane, assuming he can keep it off the wall, which he does. So Kenny Brady moving to P2, 3/4 of a second behind our leader. Mercurio is in the 4th spot, still battling with Seth Noel. He has lost a few tenths of a second. But remember, we do have 2 different strategies at play here. Some drivers, such as Jake Nichols back in, and how far back has he fallen at this point? Jake Nichols and company, he's in 15. He has not pitted yet, so there's going to be about a 20-lap delta and when he pits versus when everybody else needs to pit. And that makes me wonder, because that's going to be coming up in about 15 laps or so, Brad. Is Jake Nichols pitting 15 laps earlier? Is that going to draw everybody else in earlier? Or are we going to have 2 completely separate strategies and seeing which one perseveres?
I kind of think everyone will pit in earlier and go together, because I think here's the thing. You took the free tires, you get the pace, you might as well run away with it now because it's clearly worked, and then go ahead and just reset your strategy to be with everyone else's. The problem that will come out of that is any sort of late race cautions, any sort of green, white checkers. The 65 absolutely smacking the wall there.
Engaged, yeah.
Yeah, goodness me.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there, but that is, again, the battle in the back of the track. See Josh Ballier going all the way to the bottom of the track. Mason Kane, I remember seeing him in Discord. Oh, very early. I talked about it, and did he woe it down? It seemed pretty close, but lap 40, he's trying to split the race into thirds, evidently. And again, we'll see. I don't think at this point, we'll pull up the stints one more time as a refresher. 24 laps. I don't think that those guys can pit. They already pit once. If they pit now, that's 2 sets of tires, and that doesn't leave you a lot for the rest of the race. So let's pull up
gotta run it out.
Yeah, let's pull up our best lap comparison graphic, and already down 1.8 seconds. So I really hope that this stays green, Brad, because we are going to have one of those classic strategy battles. Is it going to... I don't even know who's going to be the chaser and the chasee. We're going to have 2 completely different animals going live here. And interesting to see which comes on top.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute... I mean, This is going to be a show. You talk about wanting a race, wanting a good show. We've got a show on our hands coming up as it goes. I mean, it's anyone's guess how it ends here. I mean, you go 40 laps, change tires, go to lap 80, change tires. You know you're good on fuel, but those guys that pitted on the second caution, I mean, they got to run it. They have to run what you brung. I mean, that's the best way to phrase it now, is they're 26 laps into the stint, and they've got to go at least 40 laps into the stint, and that'll put them... I mean, realistically, they need to get to lap 60. They need to split this race in half to go to the end. But then, again, the ultimate problem, if there's a late race caution, if we have more than one caution at the end of the race, even though we've settled into this good green run, I mean, what do you do at that point? Because that completely messes everything up. And then if you pit, I mean, we know the drop off on 25 laps is 2 seconds. So you do some math there, and I'm not doing math because on the 0.001% that my math teacher from school is watching.
This is Jake Nichols on fresh tires. You'd think he hit the golden mushroom. You'd think he hit the turbo pad here. You'd think he engaged the bullet bill. The way he is just... It's like they're all stuck in third gear, and this guy just has NOS like he's driving the Freedom 500 in a Crown Vic.
I knew tires made a difference, but that is what 2 seconds a lap looks like. Goodness me. He's about to drive this field around, and everyone's going to be rethinking their strategy. Look at that. Look at that. They're not even... There's no contest to be had. Well, that's ridiculous.
Something important to note. So he is the first truck 1 lap down, 32nd spot. Where is our leader right now? Our leader, this is just, that's just crazy stuff. I haven't seen that. Leader is entering 1, and he is, so middle 1 and 2. Yeah, he's about a quarter of a lap from getting unlapped, but he is the free pass guy right now. So what'll be important is him getting onto the lead lap as quickly as possible, because that will save his behind if a caution does come out. And at the rate he's going, he should be able to get there in no time. But the bet is made now. 2 seconds a lap. The bet is made. He's going to pit again at lap number 80. These guys up front, I'm assuming, going to pit around lap 60. So this is probably going to turn into a 2-stop versus 1-stop race. And my little puny brain can't calculate which strategy is going to work, even though I'm sure the math proves one wrong.
Yeah, essentially what we've done is, for those of you who are Formula One fans, and of course F1 was in Miami, we've essentially run this into a 2-stop versus 1-stop strategy, which is something that, again, I have a lot of a road racing background. That's traditionally a road racing question, but we've turned around and brought it into a Chicagoland truck race. Who could have wrote this one? I couldn't have wrote this one, but very clearly somebody wrote this one, and now it's a rung what you brung. You're stuck with what you got, and you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit as we go through. Lap 48 is about to hit the books here of 120, approaching half race distance. And if you're Sebastian Marin, you are watching the times very, very hard to figure out where that number 73 truck is and what is happening with him, how fast he's going, and where things are at. More trucks are taking lap 48.
Now this is Jordan Kuntz, that's Ryan Andrew, and again, a very difficult pit entry here at the Chicagoland Speedway, pulling off that 18 degrees of banking, pulling a hard left. And lap 48 is an interesting lap, not quite where I thought they would be. But again, what do I know? Because I don't know strategy. If you do like strategy, you like some NASCAR analytics, you can check out the High Banks podcast. Two blue-collar guys, Nick and Alex, talking about NASCAR more. You can listen to episode 228 with Jacob Bell. I think they're at like episode 235. But again, 228 is the doozy. Listen to 228, boost that view content, but listen to the other ones too, the High Banks podcast.
Speaking of High Banks here, Chicagoland, number 7 is out, 24 is out. I mean, we've hit basically just I don't even know what to call this race at this point. I want to talk strategy, I want to talk lap times, I want to talk all the things, but it is so mixed up now that I don't have a good answer for where anything's at here. Danny Ware, Caden Diedrich is in. Looking at lap times as it stands, I mean, if you pit David Weishart running a 31.8 just came out of the pits. Meanwhile, the race leader is at a 33.1. So I'll let that speak for itself.
And just as a reference, we forgot about it, but let's re-reference it, restack it up here. Jake Nichols is still 1 lap in arrears, but that is the leader right in front of him. So now his pace has dropped off a little bit. He's running still a second a lap faster than Marin, running about a 32 flat compared to a 33 flat. But the whole pit road sequence, and this is something we talk about all the time here on the channel, Brad, as he drives by, gets himself back on the lead lap. You can see 37 seconds is from cone to cone. You lose a second or two slowing down, so that's about maybe 40 seconds. And then you have to run the apron, which I bet probably costs you another 3 or 4. So you probably lose about, say, 45 seconds pitting here. That's a lap and a half. So you just have to think about, I'm going to lose a lap and a half to pit. And if you extrapolate all that out, Marin is going to be so far behind Nichols when this is all said and done. But remember, we're on 2 completely different strategies here.
Yeah, and that's where the 1-stop versus 2-stop comes in, and kind of the pitting lap 60 versus pitting lap 40-80 is if you pit twice and you get those fresh tires every time, lap 40, lap 80.
Look at Andrew.
Oh, goodness me.
Yeah, that is the closing rate. But go on. Sorry, I was easily distracted.
No, you're good. So if you pit lap 40, lap 80, and again, this is traditionally a road course thing. Who would have thought my road course knowledge would come in handy in NASCAR? But, pitting lap 40, lap 80, are you going to make up so much pace with the advantage of keeping fresher tires on all the time, as the 26 was real brave off the banking there? Save that to a last millisecond. But are you saving enough time in that to offset losing essentially what would be 3 laps of pace there for pitting twice as opposed to pitting once? And I mean, the numbers, just rough numbers looking, says it's possible. It is possible that lap 40-80 strategy is faster than what all of our race leaders are on right now. It's going to be close, but it is possible.
And I'll tell you another side to that is you really, really have to trust the process, which if you're a Philadelphia 76ers fan, I know it's hard to do, but you have to trust the process that you're seeing guys zoom by you, you know you're losing time, you know how much slower you are, but you have to trust what your strategy is and hope that you don't get wrecked as everyone's splitting the gap here. Because it becomes really easy to say, nope, it's not going to work, and abort. But you cannot abort. You have to stay true to what you drew up, what you committed to. It might work, it might not, but the worst thing you can do is pull an audible like 10 laps later, and then you're stuck in between 2 strategies. I've done that firsthand experience.
Yeah, and on the inverse of that, though, Corey, the drivers and the teams have to know when that audible needs to be called, when they've committed to the losing strategy, and it's better now to just drop that strategy than it is to keep it going. So that is really where it's such a fine line, and I'm very thankful I don't have to shoulder that, for the record. Like, drivers, teams, crew chief, spotters, sorry for y'all. That's a rough job to have. I am very glad I'm not the one who has to shoulder that strategy call, and whether it's the right call or the wrong call, as we watch these drivers just absolutely fly around this track on fresh tires versus old tires, and everybody really getting settled in here. We still have more drivers in and out of the pits. Sebastian Marin holding on to 2 seconds. That 55 is on fresh tires against the 60 and the 80, and that's the pace difference. Like, look at that. Chilcutt, Herschel, they're just sitting stationary at that point.
Yeah, it's Timmy Pacioli in the pits as well. We're closing in on that halfway point, lap number 60, awaiting things here today. This race has been filled with entertainment, but if you need some more entertainment at your next party, you can consider Elite Entertainment, located in Boiling Springs, South Carolina. They provide the high quality band production to entertain at any location, including karaoke, Singo, and more. You can visit the link tree in the description for all your contact information. That is Elite Entertainment. We have been providing you some Elite Entertainment. Well, the race has. Hopefully we have in getting it across here. But closing in on that halfway point, and just on our Jake Nichols tracker, 26 seconds behind the leader. And again, when that extrapolates out, he's probably going to have nearly a lap lead over Marin. Can he gain that back? Remember, he still has to pit one more time, and all of this can be thrown completely into the toilet, into the garbage, into the disposal, into the dump, wherever you want to throw your refuse can all be thrown away if a caution comes out.
Why would you speak that into the universe? Why would you incite the masses? Because you know what's going to happen now, right? As soon as the caution comes out in the next 10 laps, because you've spoke that into existence, every one of these drivers and teams are coming after you.
Well, I provided a lot of commentary curses in my almost 10-year broadcast career. Started in late 2016. We are in 2025, and I'm still calling these Pixel car races. So I've caused a lot of commentary curses, and they will still continue on into however long I keep doing this for, because no matter how hard I try, I can't retire. Sebastian Marin comes into the pits here from right at lap 60. Called it. It's like I actually know what I'm talking about sometimes on rare occasion. So now we'll await for the remainder. Sebastian Marin comes in. Who else has still yet to pit? The majority of our top 15. You can see 45 laps into their stints. So we are just all over the place now. With strategies to the point where we need a Larry Mack, because I can't calculate all this.
Yeah. Do we have a residential Larry Mack here at PTR TV? I know we do. Where's he at when we need him tonight? I might have to go put in a phone call here if we get a moment and try to get us a Larry Mack on the broadcast. Marin coming out here. 23 going through. Where's he at in relation to that number 73 of Jake Nichols?
Let's calculate that. Sebastian Marin, middle of the backstretch right now, one lap down. Meanwhile, the number 73 is at the start-finish line and on the lead lap. So I would say about 25 to... let's see. He's on the lead lap.
A lap and a half.
I don't think that's the case. But
wait, no, that doesn't make sense either.
No, it's only about a half a lap somehow. He's only about a half lap back. He is on the middle of the back straightaway. He's the first car off of the lead lap. Kenny Brady is the leader now, and Kenny Brady is just ahead. So Marin is actually not that far behind. I don't quite understand how fully that strategy worked out, but it seemed to work out quite well. So once he passes Kenny Brady, we'll actually just have legit telemetry, because Marin will no longer be off the lead lap. But he is in a much better spot than I anticipated him being.
Yeah, for sure. Corey, get us an onboard with that 82 Mercurio, because I just got some fun info on the background for Brian Mercurio. As we see, he's not that far off of that number 23, but watch him here as he goes through and listen to this engine audio, because he is he's trying to stretch this race. I think he's trying to get on that lap 80 stop strategy here as he goes through. So listen to him here.
Let's see. It seems like, I don't really hear like he's ever full bore, which is interesting.
He is saving. Yeah, he is saving a bit there.
So Sebastian Marin, 28 seconds off the lead. Jake Nichols, 24 seconds off the lead. That really perplexes me completely as to how that happened. But it's happened. He's only 4 seconds behind. You can even see here, let's go on the back end shot. You can see right off turn 2, there's a little purple dot. That is Sebastian Marin. So Jake Nichols' strategy is not where I thought it would be, because he is going to pit, lose a lap and a half, and then he's going to have to gain it all back, because Marin, I believe, is done pitting for the day.
I kind of think so too, which is, you know what? This is one of those where I really wish we just had like a couple drivers up here in the booth with us, because here's the thing. I drive, right? But this sort of a complex strategy call has never been my strong suit. So I never want to be the one to make this call. Hence my comment earlier about I don't envy anyone in this position. But these drivers, once they get to this level, this is a second nature call for them. They can calculate this on their head while they're texting and, got a drink in one hand and, they're yelling at the kid to stop crying, whatever else. Brian Mercurio into the pits. So can he stretch it to the end from here?
No, yeah, absolutely. This is only, 53 laps. So This shouldn't be a problem at all on fuel, to my knowledge anyways. And Garrett Conrath is still out. We still have, you can see all those guys, 51, 52. So we still have a fair amount of guys on the track, a lot pitting this lap. Actually, obviously Mercurio, AJ Stravato is in the pits. And I don't know why I can't seem to get a camera that doesn't, it's not terrible there. Seth Noel in the pits, Jake Fisher. So this is a very popular lap for these guys to pit. And again, we're all waiting for this to round out to Sebastian Marin, because you can see there in the background, he has already passed Jake Nichols.
Yeah, I think Jake Nichols pit too early. I think him being the first truck to pit, I think he pulled the trigger just a few laps too early there to go through. 78 of Brady missed his box and had to back up. And we're getting some info from a driver behind the scenes who knows what he's talking about, that some of the trucks were probably trying to save fuel to stay out longer. The 49 truck is now the next one to be saving there. Garrett Conrath going through. He's trying to save. He's trying to stay out longer, because I think what they might be looking at is this thing going green all the way to the end, which, again, would not shock me, all things considered. So that could be what they're looking at. And they think if they wait a bit longer to pit, they get that fresh tire advantage for longer, and they can kind of fight out of any hole that they might be digging themselves into now, because really the gaps are actually, I'm going to lie, because there's a second between Marin and Conrath. Well, that's because Conrath is coming in the pit, so never mind. My statement will still stand if he can get it slowed down.
If he may, now he has the first pit stall. I will send everybody in this server a pretend Wendy's gift card if he does not get a speeding penalty on this. And I say pretend. All right, I could have offered a real. Oh, see, that's why I said pretend. That's why I said pretend. And I think he utilized the first pit stall with the timing loops. That the fact that he had to stop in the first timing loop, it allowed him to speed and get away with it. So that's why I didn't bet anything, because I would have been offering about $35 gift cards here for everyone watching live right now.
He's practiced that way too many times. I mean, that is, again, that's the level, though, in area that you have to be at to be competitive in area iRacing. You have to be able to pull those things off and make those runs count. So, I mean, that was ridiculous. That was well calculated, though. And new leader, Sebastian Marin, around the 26 of Jonathan Evans. So, Sebastian Marin is now officially back up into the lead here on lap number 72.
Yeah, and you can see here that is 7 lap fresher tires over Jonathan Evans. Jeremy Miller back there in the 3rd spot. Jake Nichols in 4th. And now if you're Jake Nichols, I think we talked about audibles. I think he has to pull the audible, and he has to pit now, because he needs to. The only way his strategy has any foggiest chance of working is one of 2 ways. He needs to pit now and have those fresh tires and try to use them before he loses too much time on the track. He's already 7 seconds back. Or he needs a caution. Right. Other than that, he's just, like I said, put the bread in the machine, and he's got some toast, because that's what he is right now.
See, I disagree, because I think this is I'm going to use your own words against you. This is the trust the process moment. This is it going to be quicker for him to go in and do another stop and then run 40 laps on another set of tires? Is that going to be the best thing for him? Because even though he is losing a little bit of time now, will he net gain in the end? And I still think it's possible for him to still be in a competitive position against Marin to the end.
He'd be an 8th. He's about a third of a lap down now. Going to lose in about 45 seconds to pit. That'll put him about probably 2 laps down. And he'll have to basically gain 2 laps on the track within about 45 laps. I think that is just beyond what anybody is capable of. But again, we will find out together here. Here's Travis Beckner getting by Jordan Kuntz here, having a good battle. Again, you can catch Travis Beckner on the flag stand at Hendry County for all their races. You got that gorgeous car there, that number 28 automobile, battling with Jordan Kuntz. A hot battle for position. Speaking of hot, rickshotsauce.com. Like that forced segue right there. Get some of the best hot sauces made in South Florida. Lokahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. rickshotsauce.com. You can follow their hot sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series, and there's a $100 prize for the highest finishing rookie on Mondays. So check them out, rickshotsauce.com.
Going through that number 28, dropping low, 19, 29, 73, 67, all battling it out here. This race has absolutely just been shaken up. There's really no consistent answer for who's where, who's winning what. The field is all spread out, which we kind of expected to happen, let's be honest. But to this degree, I did not expect this degree of sort of chaos. So as they go through, they continue to battle. Things are going to compress through, and I kind of want to go back to the run for Jake Nichols because the one thing I do want to point out is that he doesn't have to save tires if he pits on lap 80. He can just run 40 flat-out laps, whereas I think Marin is really going to struggle near the end, and a lot of these guys are going to struggle. It may not be a net win for Nichols, but I think he'll be in a good spot as Handcamp and Weishart battling it out here, and they go pass through. Handcamp takes the low side to Weishart, gets the pass done, and will continue to run along. Weishart also one that is going to have to pit probably lap 85 to 90.
Yep, we still have... he pitted 30 laps ago, so that would be far too much, I believe, for him to stretch. So, but closing in on that lap number 80. So we'll see if next time round Jake Nichols comes in, or again if he's going to bank on the caution flag, or what he's going to do, because every lap he stays out, that's more time he loses, more time he's going to have to gain on the fresh tire call here, losing the spot to Travis Beckner. If he's going to pit this time by, he's going to need to commit to the inside lane. He's got some pressure to the inside. He's going to have to remain out. Now he's going to be on the bottom of 3 wide, 78 of Brady, and then Beckner in the middle.
Yeah, and he's going to just hold it up there on that high line, stick it through, stay comfortable, keep that 28 of Travis Beckner down low, and now he'll be able to slot back into the low line if he wants it. But I don't know really what his pit strategy would be at this point. This is such a weird position he's put himself in and found himself in, but I think that really it will be pit probably this lap by, if not a little bit later. 73 coming through. Let's watch what he does through 3 and 4. He's just sticking behind. Watch him here. Is he going to try to drop really hard off the banks? And yes, there he is. Lap 80, he's in. He's committed to the 2-stop strategy, and sliding it around, gets caught, and I think he got that thing woed up.
Yeah, I believe he did. That's absolute maximizing. And again, he's going to go roughly 2 laps down, according to my vague estimates here. Up front, Marin just doing Marin things, up by 4 seconds. Has the freshest tires of anybody who is on his strategy, or just about so anyways. Actually, technically, Kenny Brady does, but he's quite a ways back. So Marin is in a very good spot. David Weishart, he is going to do the Jake Nichols strat and pull in, and a very aggressive. I was wrong about the other driver, Garrett Conrath, but 29 really sent it on into the pits. Here is Ryan Andrew as well in the 8. Again, for those drivers on that 2-stop strategy, here they come into the attention of their crews.
Yeah, coming through, everybody going around. Now let's watch that 73 as he comes out. Sebastian Marin is currently going into turn 1. Coming through and around on track. So where did that 73 come out in the grand scheme of things? He is going through, and he's going to be trying to chase these down the front stretch. So this is going to be where he has to use those tires. Leader's last lap, 32.9. I think Sebastian Marin is saving at this point. But at this point, I mean, if you are the 73, Jake Nichols, you've got to be running pretty much 32-second laps through the rest of this race.
Yeah, but obviously it's going to fall off. I mean, even 35 laps, fresh tires. I mean, he's going to go full Superman for 10 laps, and then over time, eventually, you just lose that mustard off the tires. They can't do it anymore. You'll start to lose that gap that you gain. So interesting to see where he falls back. His biggest goal is to get onto the free pass, get back on the lead lap. Right now, Ben Pierce, who is in turn 1, is the free pass car, and Nichols is through 3 and 4. So that's his first challenge, is to get onto the lead lap, and then let the cards fall as they may here. But going up front here, as strategies have kind of settled down, let's do a little bit of a through the field. We haven't done one of these here in area, I don't believe so. Sebastian Marin leading this thing through. It's Jonathan Evans in second, Jeremy Miller in third, Brian Mercurio in 4th, soon to be 3rd. With Trey Edson in 5th. We got Kenny Brady in 6th. We got Jalen Handcamp in 7th. Travis Beckner running in 8th. Seth Noel running in the 9th spot. Rounding out our top 10 is Mr. Garrett Grant.
And moving on from there, we're going to go P11, Jeremy Miller, who will now just be dropping through as he's pit in. So it's actually going to be Alex Chilcutt there in 11th place as we have trucks coming into pit. 12th place will be Jake Fisher, the 84, who's now going low. Then you have Justin Anasogak running through, Danny Ware, and then Bryce Sinisak in the 09, Josh Parrish and Joshua Ballet in 17th. He is up 15 places on the day. Tanner Love is down 11 places. He's not going to love that. And then Garrett Conrath is up 24, 42nd and 19th. And then Gabe Herschel up 20 on the day.
Just rounding things out, Tyler Hallman 21st, Forrest Smith 22nd, Jeremy Brown 23rd, Ben Pierce, Casey Lakatis in 25th, Doug Denice in 26th. Then we have Jake Nichols, as we talked about. He is kind of our big story point right now. David Weishart not too far back. Ryan Andrew 29th, Jeremy Miller in 30th. And then just rounding things out, we got Kuntz, Diedrich, Kane, Slaughter, Boyd, Norton, and Howell. Everybody else is in the pits. Lane Doyle, Pacioli, Bethea, Groner, Springer, and Batby all retired out of the event.
So I'm getting a lot of mixed responses on the chances for this 73. Seeing some people say, if he has a good run, he's got a chance at a real good finish. I'm seeing some people saying 100% chance to win if he keeps it together. I don't have a solid answer.
No
I mean,
I will put, if he can get to the top 5, I will do a PTR TV raffle for $10. Dead serious. If he can get to the top 5, I will give somebody $10. I don't expect it. And you know how cheap I am with money. I just don't see it.
I was about to say, you were literally just putting in YouTube chat about you're not getting the 4 for 4 right now because the Son of the Baconator is on discount. So, and then you mentioned using the app so that way you can get the free fries.
Yeah,
so.
You can stack them. Wendy's lets you do everything. You can stack everything together and get to use rewards. You can get the cheapest meal. I don't know how they stay in business, but here comes Bryce Senisak in lap 90. So that is a different strat than I would have expected, but either way, Sebastian Marin 6 seconds up here on the day and looking to get himself a prize for winning this race, a trophy. And if you're looking to get yourself a prize, you can visit shop.areairacing.com for high quality merchandise at low prices. You can shop from over 100 selection of t-shirts, hats, champion brand clothing, and other area accessories. Easy to shop, quicker to ship, better to wear. What in the world? This throws everything off. Hey,
So
did he slow down, first of all, and did not expect him to pit. So, no,
Okay.
This threw everything off, so that $10 gift card is invalidated.
He's feeling the pressure then. This is him saying the 73 is putting some pressure. Even our back end, my fun Larry Matt contacts are all saying confused. They should be able to make it to the end. Nobody knows what's going on. Just throw this race backwards. Very clearly, he is feeling some pressure from the 73, and he doesn't think he has the tires or anything for it. He's already in and out, though. What?
All right,
What?
so yeah, 4-tire stop. He took it, but again, here's the part of this that I still don't understand. So Jake Nichols, now I feel better because Jake Nichols still can't get by him on track position here. He's on significantly older tires now, and he still could not, hopscotch, hop frog, something of that nature, get by the leapfrog Sebastian Marin.
I'm so beyond confused. We're lap 94 of 120. I don't know what's going on in strategy land. I hate to be that guy. I don't know. So if you're asking right now, watching this broadcast, what is happening, I don't have an answer. Because now here's the problem.
Here's Jonathan Evans.
Okay, Evans is in. This puts Mercurio in the worst possible position, I think. I think this really screws over Brian Mercurio when it's all said and done.
27 laps. He needs to go 25 more. He can make it on fuel. Are the tires going to allow that? So again, we have just a myriad of different things going on here at Chicago in the Area Truck Series. A race summary thus far. We've only had 2 cautions for 5 laps. Those cautions were very early in the race. And that just set us up for, guys pitting on lap 8. And then guys pit, I forget what that last second caution was, maybe lap 20 something or so. And we've been running clean and green to the end. So we've had guys pitting on different sequences, guys just doing different things, and just the various tire strategies coming into play, the overcuts, undercuts on lap time fall off. It's just throwing everything off. And of course, our fast lap of the day is Peyton Howell with a 31:15.
Absolutely crazy. Wow, this is wild. And for those of you watching live here tonight on any of our platforms, there is a link to the live timing so you can keep up with the live action behind the scenes just like we are, and pull that up. Just click that on YouTube. It's pinned. In Twitch it is there as well, and then on Facebook it is the first comment up. So if you want to watch this live, that's a good way to do it. Right now, big battle: Seth Noel, AJ Stravado, the 1 in the 13. No Kid hungry. I'm hungry to know who wins this race though, and trust me, I would be okay.
Was that an aero bump, or was that getting some air off the spoiler? I don't know, but it just looked like once he surged at that 13, just kind of went for a little slide there. Again, the commentary gold cemented here at Chicagoland. Slide job! I don't think we're going to call that today, just based on how things are going, but I'd love to steal the words out of Dale Jr.'s mouth there. But Mercurio leading this thing down, and here comes Sebastian Marin. There's a pink truck. Is that him? I can't quite make it out. That's not him, but there's Travis Beckner getting by here. So Mercurio, we expect him to stay out. Sebastian Marin 16 seconds behind Mercurio here. So now let's do math in this category, Brad. 2.5 faster a lap times 20 laps equals a number bigger than 20. Therefore, Mercurio still doesn't win this race.
He's saving right now, though. That's the thing, is that he is saving. So I think Mercurio still he's forced into absolutely one of the cruddiest strategy calls I think he could possibly find himself in. But he's saving right now. I don't think he's full bore out based on lap times, based on the info we have here. So I think even then, Mercurio might still be in a good position to give Sebastian Marin a run for the money here, even with that second and a half difference across 20 laps, which is going to give you a 30-second run, 30 seconds, 3-0. But the thing is, fall off has to be accounted for, and also Mercurio saving right now. He's going to pick up the pace. I don't know. This is such a tough one to call. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we'll see. So last time by a 30, we could see that gap to the leader just disintegrating. Like, it's just going down so rapidly. Just on that back straightaway, he gained 0.2 of a second. Now closing in on the 16 of Rocky Boyd. Rocky is not on the lead lap and driving down to the inside of the raceway here, but pulling up the last lap times on the ticker, Mercurio at a 33:18. And what is that? A 31:87, so a second and a half faster. 12 seconds, second and a half faster on 20 laps. That is basically a number, but it's bigger than what he needs. So Marin is still on pace to win this race, even the hard way.
And I will say, watching Mercurio, kind of give Mercurio a little bit of credit here. He is fighting hard with some lap traffic right now. So that second and a half is, of course, kind of inflated with him trying to get through a little bit of lap traffic and different trucks going through as they go, as he's got Casey Lakatos there in front of him coming around. Sebastian Marin again, quick, has to watch himself a little bit.
That's hand camp. The trucks are pretty close at a difference.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. They're close. I think lap times there, 31.9 to 33.2. That might be a little more accurate. And again, remember, this isn't going to be a linear gain of time. It's kind of exponential how that fall off will happen and sort of settle through. The best laps as it goes are starting to be behind him, Sebastian Marin, as they go. So it's going to be close.
Sub 10 seconds. As these guys are trying to throw the strategy off here. They're trying to throw a caution. They're 3 wide. They've been 3 wide for the majority of that last time round here. As you can see, Mercurio down to a 33.2 and a 32 flat. So that's only 1.2 seconds. So as you said, that linear fall off, Marin will gain less and less as each lap goes by. And now he is in an active battle, which I don't know how active it's going to last for, but going to the outside of Seth Noel, and he will make that pass in record sequence here, heading down the back straightaway. Sub 9 seconds now, 8.5 with 15 to go. I mean, realistically, he could probably do this on a half second a lap, and he's really doing it by double that.
Yeah, and I think if you're Brian Mercurio here, I think the one thing that he's going to think about when it comes to fighting this is how hard does he really need to fight? Let's be honest. I mean, he has 2 wins on the season. Wouldn't a third one be great? But also, I mean, right now in the points, he's got a 33-point lead over Garrett Conrath. Garrett Conrath currently running P8. He's going to continue to extend that points lead in the standings as they go towards the playoff races, again, starting at June 24th. So still plenty of, time to be found, plenty of things to be found. So he can sort of afford to not win this race if he wanted to, but I'm telling you that a racing driver can afford to not win a race. Do you really think they're going to do that? Let's be honest. It's a racing driver. They're going to push real hard. He's going to want this truck in victory lane at the end of this race. So let's see how things play out here. Gat now 7.4.
Yeah, 7.4. I am going back here just, now that things have sort of temporarily stabilized out, just trying to see if there's things that we missed. We did see Pacioli basically out of the race. I don't recall seeing him have any catastrophic issues, Brad. I don't know if you missed that. Perhaps our YouTube chat may have some privy to that, but he was top 10 no longer. I don't know if he was caught up in that big wreck that did happen, but either way, he is out of the race here. Ricky Springer, we saw what happened to him. A bunch of guys out of the race, but still have, through all of this hoopla, still have 24 drivers on the lead lap, and the Marin tracker down to 6.3, so he only gained about 2 seconds in about 3 laps. I mean, it's starting to get worse. Last time by, a 32.6. He was only a half second faster last time around, as here comes Alex Chilcutt into the pits.
Battle projection right now, we're looking at about 3 to go with the way the tire fall off is starting. That's where I'm being told that's where it's going to go. Marin is pushing. Mercurio, I think, is now starting to open the pace back up. I know he was saving pretty hard a few laps ago going in, and now I think here he has started to open things back up. And with 12 to go, I mean, at this point for him, he's just got to keep enough pace in that truck to get to the end. We thought it was going to be about 7 to 8 to go. We thought it was going to be about 10 to go. Now we're saying about 3 to go. Has Mercurio braved the storm at this point is the big question as he goes through. He's coming around the 88. You can see there, Marin not too far back, but Marin also still has to get past the 78 of Kenny Brady before he can even have a run at Mercurio. So It's starting to plateau.
Yep, and then, Brady's going to have a little bit more to play with as some other battles going on track. And what did I say? If Jake Nichols got into the top 10, I'd give somebody a $10 gift card. He's in 14th right now, so I think either way, even though I kind of sissied out of that because I just don't like giving away money, I think that guess is still not going to happen, so I don't expect him to get back in the top 10. An up and down day. He was certainly the start of all the strategy calls here, but here we are, sub 10 laps to go. You can count the laps on your fingers, assuming that you were born appropriately here. 10 laps to go and 5.6, and he should be to Kenny Brady in a matter of moments.
Yeah, this is going to be the big challenge here is how quickly can he clear the 78? Can he clear the 78? Is the 78 going to be, kind of polite and say no? Or is Kenny Brady going to really throw things out and just decide to battle it out? Because right now, Kenny Brady is battling, pretty well. He's looking pretty smooth here, and he's actually staying pretty consistent as we come through. Marin off of 4, coming down the front stretch towards 1. That is Kenny Brady, the truck in front of him as they go. I don't have a good answer for how this one goes. I just think this one is going to be close. Either way here, 8 laps to go. He's got to clear him very fast. Coming out of 2, right on the back. I don't know, Corey.
He's not going to get it last time by. Again, he's the aero model here in the trucks. The dirty air isn't crazy like it is in other cars, and he was only 0.3 of a second slower, rather faster last time by. We'll see what it is on the ticker this time. Getting a little bit of draft, a little bit of dirty air, but I don't think anything that's catastrophic. Basically drew even last time by, so absolute, just everything that you thought of that was going to happen, just throw it in the trash. As soon as you think something's going to happen, it goes to the wayside here. So, but here he goes to the outside of Kenny Brady. Is Brady, again, going to play nice? Is he going to be like the Brady Bunch, or is he going to be like Tom in the Super Bowl? Looks like he's going to more be on the Brady Bunch there and just play nice and let them keep on grooving on through the night. But let's see, 5 seconds in 5 laps. Ain't going to happen, brother.
Brian Mercurio has played this one out perfectly. He saved enough in the end when it counted. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but I think Sebastian Marin, he called that audible in. I think he did exactly what you talked about earlier, Corey, where he called that audible between strategies and pinned himself into a bad position. And Mercurio has managed to just play it smart, play it smooth, save tires, and Brian Mercurio putting on an absolute masterclass. He'll be at 54 laps.
So Garrett did the Tokyo drift there off turn 4, but gap now sub 4 seconds. Just about sub 4 seconds. So, but the pace is there. Well, he'll only gain about 0.3 of a second. There's so many things that have happened here at the Chicagoland Speedway. I was looking forward to one of those classic Chicagoland finishes. Pseudo quote there, but maybe we'd call ourselves a photo finish. Thought it was in the cards here, but again, just as you talked about, Brad, that fall off, he hit the cap of, all right, the good on these tires is gone. And surprisingly now, 49 lap old tires have evened out to 25 lap old tires, especially as hard as he was having to push on it.
I'm going to give you a little bit of a question here. Fuel. Where are we at in fuel?
I would have thought 60 lap was fine, but again, I don't race enough, and he's not. He is clutching it. Clutching it
hard.
Even our back end source is telling us he don't even know, but with the lead he has, he can play it very safe. Again, 52 laps this will be. I wouldn't have thought that would even be a question, but what do I know as we now have 3 miles left, looking for that can of victory fuel to go alongside with that Rebel Rabbit Seltzer for Brian Mercurio.
Again, this is one of those moments where I want to say avert your eyes, or I want to tell you to look. What's on tap? I know you're very happy to be wrong in chat. He said that the pass was going to happen with 8 to go, and then said he was happy to be wrong. Of course you are, because Brian Mercurio will find his way up and forward in that number 82. Coast to Coast will take another win on the season if they get to the end. That is the big question here. Does Mercurio have enough? Barney has the white flag here. Corey, it's 1 lap, it's fuel saving, and it's a wing and a prayer at this point.
1.5 more miles around the Chicagoland Speedway in a gap of about 3.5 seconds. Just watching that RPM gauge. I don't hear any sputters. If it was gonna be sputtering at this point, I think the damage would have already been done. He can probably coast from here. 3.5 seconds is the gap that he has. Pulled the alt strategy. Sebastian Marin had the truck on speed, but when you don't have it on speed, get it on strategy. Mercurio wins the Strategy 120 here at Chicagoland for the Area Truck Series.
Mercurio with a beautiful strategy there all the way through. That's That is masterclass there. He committed to it. He stuck with it. 52 laps on those tires. And I think ultimately for Sebastian Marin, that second place, he just drove a little bit too hard, a little bit too soon. Maybe some traffic came in. I don't know. We'll ask him and find out. But, 28 laps versus 52 lap tires. I really wouldn't have been shocked if I was wrong all the way through there. Somehow, Mercurio proving why he's dominant in this truck series, and you see the respectful little bumper tap there. Sebastian Marin knew that was hard fought and well won.
That's just a race that all drivers kind of dream of, where it's all in your hands to kind of all the cards. You had trucks that were as close to pace as you could expect, and it was all in your hands to drive the best race and to call the best race. Whether he has guys on the box helping him out or if he just did it all in his head, we'll maybe ask him, but he'll burn it on down here from the Chicagoland Speedway. Jake Nichols, the other driver we were following heavy on the strategy today, he does settle for 13th, so no Wendy's gift card for our PTR TV faithful here. But while Brian burns it down here on the front straightaway, presented by Victory Fuel. You could celebrate tonight's win with Brian along with Victory Fuel. You could choose from your caffeine-free flavors like Throttle Punch, Purple Potion, or Lucky Lemon. Each can packed with electrolytes charged with vitamins and kid-friendly. You can get 10% off your order with code AREA iRacing at checkout, Brad. But let's go ahead and wind things down with our finishing results here today from Chicagoland.
Yeah, coming through, Brian Mercurio with that glorious win there in the end by 3.7 seconds over Sebastian Marin. Kenny Brady there in third place with a great run in that number 78. Seth Noel in fourth in the number 1, and AJ Stravado finds fifth place. Jake Fisher in P number 6, and then in P7 was Jonathan Evans in the 26. Garrett Conrath 8th, Tanner Levin 9th, and Joshua Ballet rounds out the top 10.
Trey Edson gets an 11th, Jeremy Miller in 12th. No Wendy's, he didn't make it back to the top 10. Jake Nichols with a 13th, Jalen Handcap in 14th, our flagman Travis Beckner in 15th, Gabe Herschel in 16th, Ryan Andrew, David Weishart, Garrett Grant, and Jordan Kunst round out our top 20, getting some insight. Only 0.09 gallons of fuel in the tank for Mr. Mercurio there, and like could finish it off there, Brad.
And from there, we're going to go 21st, Caden Diedrich, Jeremy Brown in 22nd. And then it was Justin Anasogak in P23 with Ben Pierce in 24th place. Danny Ware, Casey Lakatis, and then Doug Denice in 27th. Bryce Sinisak in 28th. Alex Chilcutt was down a lap in 29th, and Josh Parrish in 30th. And then just rounding out these results, Mason Kane, Tyler Hallman, Rocky Boyd the third, Forrest Smith, Brad Slaughter Jr., the top 35. Lee Norton, Peyton Howe, Lane Doyle, Timmy Pacioli, Tanner Bethea in 40th, and then just our last few drivers here on the evening will be Philip Groner, Ricky Springer, Matthew Batby, and Ryan Novicki, of course, who was a DNS as he did not qualify his way into the show.
He's a DNS because he didn't qualify. You could also use DNQ there for your corporate algorithms there, Brad.
Listen here.
All right, but either way, it's been our brains are frazzled by what we had to call here today, but it was in a good context. Brian Mercurio gets the win. Our brains are fried, and we were just watching it from up top. I don't know how that was from the driver's seat, man. With all those strategies, felt like a Formula One race, but yours ended up pulling off the victory, and you held off the hard-charging Sebastian, man. How you feeling?
Man, pretty good. I knew I was settling into like third or fourth there once we got back going. The last restart that we had a bunch of guys on mixed strategies, and Kenny and Sebastian and I think even Jonathan, Seth. I was like fifth. Those guys were all on tires, and they were able to just get through the traffic a little bit better. So I was just kind of settling into fifth, and the laps tick off. I'm just kind of looking at my fuel, and I see the refuel number get closer and closer and closer to a full tank, and I'm like, maybe it's worth it. So I'm talking with Coast to Coast teammates there of Jake and Gabe, who were still in the race. Unfortunately, Tim got taken out early, but talking to them, I'm like, I think we can make it. And we're all talking, we're on similar fuel numbers, and I knew I just had to stretch that last run before the pit stop as long as I could. Got a bunch of help from lap trucks along the way there too. I think it was the 88 there, that last like 6 or 7 laps. I can just kind of feed off of his draft, allow me to really clutch go into the corner, save as much fuel as I can, and cross the line with about a 10th in the tank. So cutting it about as close as you comfortably can.
Shades of old DW drafting in the 89 Daytona 500 with what you were doing there. But we were talking in the booth because I don't race as much as I used to, but in these kind of strategy races, it gets really hard when you see all the drivers on the different strategies. You're getting your doors blown off with the guys on fresh tires. How hard is it to not just want to call the audible and pit? Like, how hard is it to trust the plan when you can just see all the different things happening at once?
It could get pretty difficult because, if you stay out long and everybody, pits to try to make it the 2-stop. They're on the fresh tires, like you said, they're just kind of blowing by you, and but then you get your revenge later on when you pit, and then you blow by them, and you feel like Superman. So you get a little bit of that the ebb and flow there, and I just, once I saw the fuel was going to be close, I just committed to it. I felt like it was going to work. I was talking with, like I said, with Gabe and Jake, and we were all really confident that it was going to be able to work. And so just being able to stick to that and just kind of keeping an eye on where everybody that pit and where they would cycle through. Sebastian was really the one that was able to kind of challenge the most and get close to me. But I just knew that he was just going to run out of time. It just wasn't going to be enough for him. And then to have Jake finish 6th and Gabe finish 16th, considering how not necessarily how their seasons have gone, but there's been some races where they've deserved good finishes, especially I feel like Jake, especially last week at Darlington, he was really strong and got involved in a wreck. So to be able to get really good finishes for all of us, I wish Tim didn't get wrecked, but at least for the guys who are still running, for all of us on Coast to Coast, great win for me, but really a big kind of moral victory for the team overall.
Absolutely, man. It'll be a 3rd win of the season here in round number 8. Congrats, and I suppose we'll probably see you on Thursday night and see if you can do the double duty.
I'm really only here for the truck series.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get you guys mixed up. So we'll see you next week for round number 9 at wherever you guys are at next week.
Dover.
Yeah. Dover.
All right.
One of my pseudo home tracks. I'm a former New Jersey native, so that'll be nice. But if you don't mind, real quick, just want to give a big thank you to all the partners who support us at Coast to Coast Racing. Rebel Rabbit, who were in the different color schemes going to be for this month here, the Mandarin Orange flavor, Morass.live, What's on Tap, Paul Fod Racing, PrestonPardis.com, the NYC NJ NASCAR Club, T-Patch Designs, all you guys putting on the broadcast, and everybody for area for putting this league on. Always nice to get another W here, kind of pick momentum back up on my season.
Yeah, exactly that, man. Congrats. Go celebrate with the boys, and we'll see you not on Thursday. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you, guys.
Of course, I won't be here next Tuesday, but Brad will. Actually, no, yeah, I will. Either way, I'm on vacation soon, but I'll be here next week. But who else will be here next week is Sebastian Marin, who the strat almost worked, but Brad's with him in 2nd.
Yeah, Sebastian started 3rd, finished 2nd, led a lot of laps, ran through, but in the end, the strategy call seems like just trying to find that strategy call. You made an audible late in, but just didn't have the tires to the end. Kind of talk me through that last pit stop decision.
I knew after that first pit stop what the other guys were trying to do, and I could see it working for them, right? Because they had the pace to save and go. But at that point, my bet was made. I didn't fold the truck even that first run to commit, even if I wanted to halfway through. I underfueled it, so I was committed from the get-go because I was expecting a yellow somewhere in between. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go be aggressive, build a gap, hopefully get a yellow, and then after that see what happens. But yeah, after I came out for that last pit stop, I saw how far back I was. I was kind of throwing up in the air. I'm like, oh, maybe we can get it. Depends how much they have to save. But I knew once I got close, it was going to be hard those last like 5 laps because of all the fuel saving that they were doing. They were saving tires by doing that as well. So we evened off pretty significantly there at the end. Like I think I was only 2 to 3 tenths quicker per lap. So The only way I had a shot there was if this race was 5 laps longer, then the strategy wouldn't be in play. But that's not the cards we're dealt with. So overall, good day. Obviously a little disappointed being so close, but hats off to Mercurio. I mean, he's so good at just awareness. His racecraft is amazing. So he just was on the end of the better strategy today, and I'm looking forward to continue racing with him on my part-time schedule throughout the season. Should be fun.
I think it's gonna be awesome to watch that battle continue through the season. I gotta ask, are you gonna be here next week at Dover?
Let me check real quick. I think I should be able to be here for Dover, and I love Dover. I mean, it's gonna be such a track position race anyways, but I love Dover. So yeah, I should be there next week, and hopefully it should be good.
Awesome, Sebastian. I think it's gonna be great to watch. And I gotta ask, do you think there's anything you should have done different in this race to try to get past Mercurio? Obviously, you said if there were 5 more laps, you think you could have got past, but is there anything, kind of hindsight being 2020, you'll take away from this race?
Maybe whenever I decided to pit for fresh tires, right, make the full use of the fresh tires, because I kind of pushed both fuel runs to the limit of what I had on board, because I just wanted, hope for a yellow. So I kind of left myself with quite a bit of a short run there at the end. I think I left myself, 28, 29 laps. So like in hindsight, I should have pitted with like 35 to go, near 40, to have a bit more time on the new tires to make up. But yeah, besides that, it was pretty spot on.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations on the second place. We'll let you go enjoy it, and we'll probably catch up with you next week at Dover.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
You too.
All right, last but not least here on the podium is first time this season with us in the trucks. Mr. Kenny Brady made your presence known, and you picked a doozy to join, because we certainly had strategies all over the place. You had some good battles, and you wind up on the podium, man. How do you summarize your night?
Yeah, that was really fun. I don't have those kind of races where you fuel save. My mindset is usually just go 100%. So that second run after the yellow, I kind of just pushed it, and I didn't realize that I could make it on one stop. So when I got out of the pits, I was about 4 laps short and really had to back it down. And I knew if I just clutched the whole run, I could make it. And I ran out right at the line, so I did exactly what I figured I could do, and it was really fun.
Got as far as it needed to go. And at what point do you kind of, obviously we were going 2-3 wide. We saw some crazy racing to start this thing off. At what point do you kind of think to yourself, oh crap, this might actually go all the way to the end? At what point do you kind of realize I might have to start planning that long-term strategy?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not really good at that. Not really good at planning it, because Sebastian, led the majority of the night, and he was really fast, and he was pulling a pace around the racetrack that was pretty quick, to where you really couldn't save fuel, and I wanted to stay up front. If I backed it down just to like be comfortable, I knew I would have lost a couple spots, and it would have put me behind. So I don't really know. I really drove hard all the way up until that last run. So when I realized that it was a one stop, it was pretty late. It was like with maybe 8 laps left in the tank before we pitted. So that's when I just made the decision, because I had quite a gap from the guys ahead of me to behind me, and then with that last run, I realized that the guys behind me were also like saving pretty hard, honestly harder than I was. So that's when I, just made the decision to back it down. But like at the start of the race with like all the crazy racing, it's really hard to judge where like saving tires are going, because like I said, you have the top, the leader and the second, third, they create such a pace that you can't really like save your tires. You kind of have to just drive hard. So it's really hard to like manage.
Yeah, that's just kind of the name of the game. We always say Sebastian does Sebastian things, so you're going to have to figure out ways to get by him. But glad to see you here tonight and having a good run, and maybe we'll see you soon next week.
Yeah, I hope. It just depends on my work schedule. I know I can run Cup basically every week as long as I make the show. Same here, but yeah, just gotta thank John Peel and his team, Lucky Duck Motorsports, for giving me the opportunity so I could at least come out and race, because it's pretty hard to find a team. So thanks to him and all the partners on my truck as well that John and I selected.
All right, absolutely, my friend. Great job tonight, and we'll catch you all next week or whenever you're able to join us.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for the stream as well.
You. So crazy night, Brad. One that we're going to need to reset our brains on to try to recoup from. But Sebastian did Sebastian things, but Brian had the one up on him here today. And I can't wait for the next one.
Man, I can't believe that we have to wait till next week for the next round. And well, actually, we have Thursday coming up, which is Chicagoland. So Thursday Pro Chicagoland. We know Thursday is going to be fun. And then next week is Dover. And that's going to be a wild race. So, I mean, area iRacing, doing area iRacing things and just producing amazing racing.
Exactly that. So if you are not subscribed here to PTR TV on the YouTube side of things, we need a little bit of help from you to help get to 1,700 subscribers. We're getting there pretty quickly, but even quicker still would be dandy. If you're on Facebook, hit that follow button. And if you're on the Twitch side of things, hit that follow button. Consider subscribing. $5 a month. Get you your custom emotes and your double points and help you get on your way to some area merch. Stay tuned for tomorrow night. Brad will be live with the Elbows Out Racing League, their multi-class road racing series, and we'll be back Thursday here with the Area Pro Series, back on Sunday for the Triple Bypass Series, and then another week full of area. So a busy time on the channel, and let's have you along for the ride. But that's going to be Corey and Brad signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.